Okay, got it? Got it. All right, now we're ready to move on. So remember, step 2 is the last of the fun ones, so enjoy it. Step 3, we're gonna get this. Let me be clear. All right, so you're gonna go 1, but now this time you're going to transfer it, and it's going to go here. That's what happens. That's the end of step 2. And so now we've got 2 different things going on. We have to bifurcate our consciousness, and this is cool because that's another great skill that the staff provides. So when you go to 1 and you pass it, we don't need to work on both things at the same time. That's a fallacy. That's an inefficiency. And so what you can do is pass the staff and just hold it here. And what I want you to do is this, like you're bowling. Just do this over and over again, because this is going to program into your arm what you're going to do. You are priming the pump for the right action. So now this time I want you to go 1, and when you get over here, I want you to just do this if you can. You might not have the thumb straight, or if you're using a weapons grade staff, it might be too heavy. But see how it's hooked on the thumb but going under the hand? And catch. And see how my fingernails are up? That's the end of move 2. And all you do here is reset. And so again, you go 1, and then you go around and catch with your palm up. And so if you have any sort of issues here, this is where you get a chance to learn how to teach yourself. And that is also one of the ultimate goals of this, is that we want to teach you how to teach yourself anything. Because you can figure out anything like this. And anything you can't figure out, you can go on YouTube and find a tutorial, and someone will show you exactly how to do it. You don't have to have someone else change your car tire. You can do that effortlessly. I fixed my transmission on my car because of YouTube, and I saved $2,000. We live in an incredible world, and we just need to learn how to properly implement this new gifts that we've been given. So again, you're going to go 1, it's going to come around, hook on the thumb, go under, catch. This is your end position for here. Okay, and here's where the Vampirus is going to try to rear its negative head. Because what it's going to do is it's going to possibly try to mess with you. And it's unlikely that it'll do something quite so obvious as this, because that's obviously a sabotage. And the Vampirus does not want you to know that it exists, because it wants to keep lurking in your blind spots, feeding off your negative energy. And so speaking of negative energy, one thing that I found that my Vampirus would do is that on a move like this, it would get me going, and then it would try to speed me up too fast. And then what would happen is that I wouldn't be able to do it, and it would hit me. And so I'd have the physical pain, which is what the Vampirus fed on. But then also, it's like so many people pick up the staff and get hit with it once, and they're like, screw that, and they're gone. And now we're down 1 Jedi, and the Metavirus wins. And so be aware that your strengths can sometimes be used against you. Your speed, we all want to do this, like at a Bruce Lee speed. We all want to do that. But here's the thing. You have to install the program properly and cleanly and precisely in order to get speed. And here's something that you're going to hear over and over from me. It's something that my friend Sean taught me that he learned from race car drivers. Slow is smooth, smooth becomes fast. So while you're doing this move, realize you're writing source code. What happens when you write fast code? Yeah, it's glitchy and buggy and doesn't work. So have the discipline to go very, very slowly, methodically, paying attention to each component along the way. There are no life lessons there. Don't try to apply them to your school or work or relationship. That's not... Oh, wait, yeah, they do. Okay, so we've got 1, and now we've got 2. And please do not go forward until you can get to that point. And make sure that you have the discipline to go here, here, and just stop and reset your hand. And so If you find yourself starting to do something that looks like a full circle, that means your vampirus is driving your bus, and you don't want that to happen. Have the discipline to have the discipline. Okay, so now we've got 1, and now we've got 2. And now we're ready for 3, and 3 is where it starts getting potentially embarrassing and possibly dangerous. So instead of diving right into 3, let's do something else. Let's learn 1 and 2 together, because this is a rhythm move and everything's going to connect on everything else. And so let's practice this transition here. So you're going to go 1, take it around into 2, but this time, instead of going into 3 or resetting, just turn your hand back over into 1 and do everything that you already know how to do, and then just turn your hand back over. And it's going to look like this. And that's really all you're going to do here. And it's going to look something like a full circle. So just get a feel for that. And do that for a while. Okay, so you should be doing something that looks like this. And I want you to keep doing this as you're watching the video, if you can. And if you are watching the video before you're spinning, A, you're doing it wrong, and B, do not move forward. You will be cheating yourself out of something here, okay? Just stop at this point until you can do 1 and 2 together. Promise? Saber square? All right. Okay. So, do 1, do 2. And I want you to get in this rhythm and stay there as I talk, because I want to show you something. Here's what you're doing right now. And here is what the front rotor looks like. This is the full move. And this is what you're doing. Do you notice anything? This is what you're doing. And this is the full rotor. Do you notice anything? Because here's what you're doing, and here's the full rotor. Yeah, you're done. There is no step 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. The rotor is only a 2-part move. You are finished. And so what often happens in the real space classes, what often happens in the real space classes is that when people realize that they're doing that big move and they're doing it well, the one that they couldn't believe that they were going to learn, and they just learned it in 10 minutes, all of a sudden everybody goes and all the staves hit the ground at the same time. It's really funny. And it's also really indicative of that hidden self-sabotage program that I'm so distinct on helping the other people who have it find it, because that's what's holding us back as a species. We push away a lot of really good things as a species. I don't know. Well, actually, I do know why we do that. That's why we're doing this. So, let me explain why I set this move up this way. I used to do a lot of after-school education, and we would take ghetto kids from like Compton and South Central and bring them out to Malibu to these really nice camps and run them around the forest. And most importantly, we had this climbing wall. And let's pretend this is a 60-foot climbing wall. And when it was my turn to be the rope safety guy, I noticed something. Over and over again, so many kids would freeze in 2 places. They would freeze right here at 10 feet off the ground and right here at 59 feet off the ground. And I knew why they froze at the bottom. It's because, 10 feet, that's an injury height. If you fall from 10 feet, you could really hurt yourself. And they're looking at this tiny little thin rope, and on the other end of it is some honky hippie who they've never met before, who they may or may not be able to trust to be on point. So I totally get that. I understand why they freeze there. However, so many of them would go through all of this, and they'd get right here at the 99th percentile, and they'd just be about to ring the bell, which signifies that you are awesome and achieve something, and they would go, "I'm stuck," over and over again. And what happens when you say, "I'm stuck"? Yeah, you get stuck. And so it took me a long time, but I finally figured out what they were afraid of. These kids are in a war zone. They are the least taken care of kids in America, and they've been told their whole life that they're going to be one of four things: a gardener, a gangster, or a corpse. And so what happened is that it created this mindset that they're not worthy, that they're not allowed to succeed or achieve. And so the first kids up, especially when you're the first kid, because this is hard. Like, honestly, I climbed the wall after a month or two of this, and I was like, oh my God, we're putting sixth graders up this? And so what happened is that right as they're about to ring the bell and look awesome in front of all their peers, that program kicked in. And the same thing happens with the big moves. So many times when we're doing this move, somebody will get it, oh my God! And then they just won't reach out and grab it because they can't believe that they're actually doing the move. And that effect, that broken program, that is actually what's keeping you from being able to just unlock these skills at speed. I can't base this, but I firmly believe that you can already do everything that you've seen me do. Like, for example, this move, your superconscious drive has seen it enough times now to where it knows the hand goes here, and it knows the center goes on the shoulder, the neck, and then the other shoulder. It's already worked it out. And it's just our 1.0 limiting mind states that say that you're going to have to study for 10 years to be able to pull that move. No, I don't believe that's true. I think that you can already do it, and that we just have to clear away the illusory blocks of the 1.0 mindset in order to get to it. So again, I'm going to need a ton of feedback from you on how to make this work this way. And so what I'd like to do in this moment is let's play around with being limitless. I would like to invite you to the possibility that you can already do this move in the other direction. You've already solved all the math. You already know how to do the move. You just have to do it in the other direction. So play around with, this is easy, this is easy. Don't think. Just wipe your mind and say, this is easy, this is easy, this is easy, and see if you can go right into this move. Okay, also, you can also already do this move in an overhead, in a horizontal, which is what's called a helicopter, and also we can call it whatever we want. You can also do that move in the other direction. And you can actually also do it behind your back. And this is where play around with, okay, I'm going to do this behind the back. It's a slightly different spin, but see what happens. And here's the thing. It'll happen easier if you don't have an attachment to being instantaneously awesome. Let that go. Just play. Just have fun and enjoy the process. It's kind of like we're Rubik's kids now. We're unlocking the puzzle that is our mind. And so we might as well have fun with it, right?